and welcome to Getting Your Money's Worth, the show that focuses on value. I'm Judith West, and our guest today is Dr. Eva Ritvo. I know I was going to stumble on that, Ritvo, author of The Beauty Prescription, and you are a psychiatrist, right,
Correct.
Eva?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, thanks for being on the show.
Pleasure.
So you've written a book, The Beauty Prescription, and one of the first things I saw in this book was that most women, this book is mostly for women, most women are 20% prettier or more beautiful than they think they are. And if not, you can tell them how to get that way in about 20 seconds. And that really captured my eye. So please, what is the 20 seconds?
Well, we start out the book by telling women that, in fact, if people look at them, they tend to see them about 20% more attractive than they see themselves.
So can I do the test?
Sure.
I didn't bring a big mirror with me, but I have a very small mirror. So I'm now, and this is about 20 seconds, I'm looking in here, and I'm going to believe that I'll look 20% better.
Well, sit up, right. Fix your hair, look in the mirror,
right,
and tell yourself,
this is what my cameraman is always saying.
Say, hey.
Fix your nose and fix your hair. Okay.
And how do you look?
20% better.
There you go.
Okay, so I passed the test.
You passed the test. You mentioned the book being for women, and I just want to mention that we've had a few men read the book, and you know how men are. So one of them told me he liked that idea so much he read it twice, so now he's 40% better.
Okay. Oh, I should have known.
So the men out there can take that test too.
I'm a retailer. I missed that one. I'll take a markup. I'll be 40% better looking too. But
our point
is
attractiveness is something that really comes from inside. And if you have a positive mental attitude and you feel good about yourself and you go do all those things to take care of yourself and look good, in fact, that does make you more attractive. And people are going to pick up on that. Right. The most beautiful women in the world, if they don't feel that they look good, they're not going to be attractive.
As a matter of fact, you go on to talk about something that I want to take a little time to talk about called the brain beauty loop.
Yes.
Will you touched on it already. Will you, in a few words, tell us what is that loop?
Sure. Well, we've created
How do you get from here to here?
Well, we've created this concept called the beauty brain loop, and the 4 aspects of that are the brain, of course. Right. Me as a psychiatrist, that's the most important.
Right.
Beauty, what's on the outside.
What you see.
Yep. And those are connected through your health, your internal health, your mental state, and through the environment. So we feel if women want to be their most beautiful, they have to attend to all aspects of the loop. So they have to have a beautiful mental attitude. They have to do their best to look good on the outside. We're not saying just roll out of bed and think you're pretty. No, unfortunately, it requires a little more work. They have to attend to their health because you can't be beautiful if you're not your healthiest. Okay. And then you have to work to create beauty in your world and in your environment.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. You talk about you have to have a beautiful attitude or a positive attitude.
Yes.
That sounds good, Eva, but that's words. I mean, you can't really, I can look in the mirror and think I look better, but it's very hard to look in the mirror and say, oh, wow, I've got a great attitude. Where does the attitude come from?
Well, that's a very good question. Now, some people are born with good attitudes.
They're just born optimistic?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Other people, unfortunately, aren't as lucky, and they're not born with good attitudes. So as they progress through life, things may happen to them that give them good attitudes. They do well at work, they get lucky, marry the right person, and life goes well, they get a good attitude. But for many people, getting a good attitude is just like anything else. It requires a lot of hard work.
And it really...
retraining yourself to think in an
optimistic... And it really comes from you.
Absolutely.
That was my point. You can't really bestow. I mean, you're a psychiatrist. People come to talk to you, and they talk to you about their depressions, their worries, their concerns, their crises. But, I mean, you have no special gift to bestow a good attitude on them.
Well, I have training to help them gain a positive attitude.
But it has to come from within.
Absolutely.
From them.
Absolutely.
Right.
The person has to recognize that having a negative attitude is not serving them well. Then they have to want to make changes, and they have to see having a positive attitude as a goal. Otherwise, of course, they're never going to get there. But in working with people in psychotherapy over time, that's one thing that we do hope to achieve. Because if you have a better attitude, then everything goes better.
Yeah. This brain beauty loop, I don't want to leave it alone yet.
Good.
I think it's safe to say that people who are beautiful or that have beauty, they seem to get lots of special breaks in life.
Absolutely.
Eva.
No question about it. You know, look at you.
Well, thanks. But I mean, you know, people, even, I think you say in your book, and I know even research, pretty kids even get better breaks in school, even in elementary school.
There's so much data that show that attractive people do better in life, and that's why our book is really about empowering women. And I combined my efforts with my co-author, who's a dermatologist, because we do want women to look beautiful, because the truth is life does go better for those who look good. Starting as early as 3 months old, studies have shown that babies will stare longer at attractive faces. So it's not something that we learn, it's something innate about us that is attracted to beauty, to harmony, symmetry, to good health. So we're not going to be able to get away from that. So with
That's
the
society,
beauty,
you can't change that.
You can't change that. The only thing that we can change is what we all see as beautiful. And one of our hopes with the book is that people can broaden their definition of beauty, and they can see more beauty in themselves, in their girlfriends, in other people, and in the world.
If you see yourself more beautiful, if
Yes.
you can cross that barrier, which we're going to give some tips to do that. If you see yourself more beautiful, does that transmit? Is that magnetic?
Absolutely.
Do people pick up on that, Eva?
Of course. Well, we know that emotions are contagious, and emotions tend to flow from the most powerful person in the room. So you've been in lots of parties, and somebody walks in and they're like the celebrity.
Yeah.
The whole room lights up. The whole room focuses on that.
So is it the way they walk up?
It's everything. It's that
everything.
positive
It's
mental
their
attitude.
persona.
In the brain, we've found that there's actually something called mirror neurons. So when you smile,
Mirror neurons.
Back to your mirror.
Back to my mirror.
You were good with that visual. So when you smile, the part of my brain that smiles too will light up and be triggered by your smile. So if you walk into the room and you're bright and shining and think you're beautiful and you're smiling and you make eye contact with me, I'm going to catch those positive emotions and I'm going to smile. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to feel good and I'm going to like you. And I'm going to like being around you, and I'm going to want to employ you, date you, be on your TV show, whatever it is.
Yeah, it becomes a two-way street.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And it
Okay.
can work the opposite way too. So we talk with a beauty
sour, if you walk in all.
Yep. People will be repelled, and then life's not going to go so well. So we could call that the ugly loop. But you come in with a bad attitude, you're not going to get the job, you're not going to get the date.
So
no
I
one's
really
going to be
guess
nice
it really
to you in
goes
the
back to
store.
that old cliche: you can catch more bees with honey than with
You
vinegar.
bet.
Okay.
That's right.
So we're getting your money's worth, and I think that there were some really good tips in here, ideas that people get their money's worth.
Yep.
So. I believe what you say.
Thank you.
I can't come to see you. I'm your, but I want some tips, some things I can do that will make a big difference in how I'm perceived by society, my employer, my friends, my family, even.
Well, first we talk about the faith lift, F-A-I-T-H.
F-A-I-T-H?
Yes.
Okay, faith.
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 So that you have to...
Not the facelift, but the faith lift.
No, it's a little play on words.
I like
you know
this
how
one.
cheap that
Right.
is?
I know, I like
I just
that.
saved
Faith lift.
$20,000.
Right, exactly.
So
That's our hope.
Yeah, it's faith lift. So it's having the faith that you are a beautiful person inside and out, and that you can reach that goal. So whatever your particular goal is in terms of changing your appearance or changing your world or changing your mental attitude, having faith that you can get there and that you can make the necessary changes.
So you have to believe.
You have to believe. You have to
Okay.
believe in yourself
Okay.
that you can make these
okay.
changes.
I'm convinced of
That's
that.
free. So then what we like people to do is to either get the book or to go onto our website where it's free and they take a quiz and they get 4 different scores in the categories you and I just spoke about.
So we're here now.
Yes.
So what are the categories that people question
Inner
themselves?
beauty,
Inner beauty,
outer beauty.
So what are some of the questions in inner beauty?
Oh, in inner beauty, we ask you all kinds of questions about your mental attitude.
Okay.
And what we're
I
trying
think
to
I
find
did look
out.
at that. I think I printed it out and forgot to bring it right.
That's okay. It's on the website, thebeautyprescription.com.
Okay.
But we want people to have a look at their mental attitude. We want them to look at their outer appearance. We want them to look at their health score and their environment. And by looking at all those questions, they can figure out what is it that they need to do to
That they can
change, to
control.
improve. Right.
Yeah, you make a very good point in, I want to be sure we get some of this in before, while we have the time. You make a very good point in your blogging that events happen to people, life events happen, things change. and we don't have I mean, you can't control your genetics, you can't control what you're born with, but there are plenty of things you can do that you can control. And what we're talking about now in terms of altering your appearance or your attitude are things that people can do themselves.
Right.
They can get a grip on themselves.
That's right. You know what you said is so important because we're in very, very difficult times
Exactly.
right now. And so many of these bad things are coming upon us.
Yeah.
And it can be very depressing for people. So we want people to feel empowered to take charge of what they can take charge. So for example, if you're out of work right now, using that as a time to go to your doctors, get your health in shape, to start that exercise program you didn't have to learn how to cook so you're eating healthier foods.
Yeah.
So making the changes that you really can make that will get you to be in a more beautiful place.
And I want to go back because we talk about obesity is a problem.
Obesity is a genetic disorder. It's epidemic.
And for women, it's a particular problem because the image society has is of people. Everybody wears either a size 0 or a size 2, and if you don't wear a size 2, you're fat.
Well, we think that that's changing a little bit.
It's changing a little bit.
We're working on that.
But still, in all, controlling weight is really something that anybody can do.
Well, it's very difficult, and it's more difficult for some people than other people, so we have to be cognizant of that.
But it's doable.
But everybody can certainly move themselves to a healthier place with diet, with exercise.
Okay, what are some of the other things, we have about 2 minutes left, Eva, what are some of the other things that people can do that they can control themselves? We want to give the money's worth. Diet.
Diet, exercise, positive mental attitude.
Give me a quick way to start to move your attitude positively.
Well, one thing that we talk about, particularly for women, is the importance of friendships. And that when women get together and they support and nurture each other, a hormone called oxytocin gets released. And that's a hormone that makes you feel good and calm, that if you were lucky enough to nurse, you release during that time.
But you can't sit around and kvetch.
Well, you can, because sometimes just getting that off of your chest helps you. But what we encourage women to do is we say, find a beauty buddy, somebody who supports your beauty inside and out. That's free, obviously. And spend time developing that relationship and help one another.
And help each other.
So, for example, you've got a cute fashion sense. Maybe if you and I have time, we could go out, we could go shopping together.
Right.
Maybe somebody has a positive mental attitude. You can learn from them.
And what you're saying is, too, something that maybe women don't do so well, which is to help each other.
We need to help each other. We're not going to get anywhere if we don't help each other.
We have about a minute left. You wrote the book. This is your profession.
Yes.
What is the single best thing that you can that someone can do to radiate, to make themselves, to make society, to make them feel beautiful?
I think they have to believe. I think they have to believe that they're a beautiful, valuable person.
You have to have a faith lift.
Yes, you have to have a faith lift. You have to believe in yourself. And for women nowadays with so many roles, sometimes it's difficult because sometimes we feel like we're not doing enough at work, we're not doing enough at home, we don't look pretty enough when we watch. But people have to really just take a healthy look at themselves, look at their own self-esteem, feel good about what they're doing, focus on the positive, and move forward with a positive attitude, creating more beauty in the world.
And sort of blow off what all the naysayers are saying.
Well, yes, you have to be a little bit skeptical because there's always going to be people to tell you can't succeed.
Okay, this is the Beauty Prescription. You're watching Getting Your Money's Worth. We've just had a Getting Your Money's Worth session with psychiatrist Dr. Eva Ritvo. I'm Judith West. Thanks for watching.